Hello and welcome to the Gold, Goats, and Guns podcast for February 6th, 2023. My name is Tom Luongo, and we have a lot to talk about. It is episode 132, and I have back with me the great Pascal Najadi from Switzerland. He has a further update on the two stories that we have talked about in his previous appearances here on the podcast about Swiss neutrality. First, in episode 122, and in episode 125, he broke the story that he had filed criminal charges against the Swiss president for the vaccine mandates. And so I wanted to get Pascal on the show today because he's got another update on all these things. And so there we are. Pascal, how are you today? And what have you got for us?
Tom, hi. I say good morning to Florida, and everybody, welcome back. Glad to be back, Tom. Thank you for the opportunity. Look, let's talk about the update on that's really a hot issue, especially in the US now, about the filed criminal charges with the Attorney General of Switzerland against President Alain Berset, the President of Switzerland, who is as well the Minister of Health of Switzerland and has been in the past 3 years as well, Minister of Health of Switzerland. And in this context, let me be clear to everybody, we're talking about the Swiss president here, Alain Berset. The presumption of innocence applies to him. It's a ongoing, progressing criminal pursuit, charges that are against him. And I'm not a judge nor prosecution. The justice is doing their job. She's doing her job at the level of the highest one at the Attorney General's office in Bern. There is virtually nothing new to tell you because now justice has taken over completely. Okay. I have, since we last talked, I think you were the first one to know.
I do believe that's the case.
Must have been beginning December last year.
Mm-hmm.
I filed on the 2nd. So as a recap for listeners who are new to the program or listeners who forgot, on the 2nd of December 22 last year, I have filed criminal charges against the Swiss president, Alain Berset, for abuse of office. That is Article 312 of our Swiss Criminal Code, which you can look up even in English online in the internet. Why did I do this? I'm vaccinated with mRNA, Pfizer, BioNTech, I call it stuff, mRNA lipids, 3 times, my wife 3 times, my mother 3 times. Because we believed the Minister of Health in December 2020, when all this psyop started to break out, and people, we too, were scared to death from this coronavirus, he announced that there is a new vaccine, and he said, and you can review this, it is safe, it's effective, and it's been tested as tough, as much as any other vaccine before the regulator approves it. Now, that message has been going on every week, every month, on all channels. The government has pushed it in the mainstream media, paper media, electronic media, national TV, you name it. And the promise was that it is effective, safe, and tested. So, we got vaccinated. Many people did. In fact, 70% of 9 million people got vaccinated, got injected by this stuff. In October last year, on the 10th of October, I saw Janine Small at the European Parliament making a clear statement to the question of a parliamentarian, asking her, can you confirm yes or no whether or not your vaccine, the mRNA vaccine of Pfizer BioNTech, has been tested for immunity, meaning for contagion or retransmission before entering the market.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, of course not. We didn't do that. We did not check the endpoints before we released the stuff into the market. Boom. So I make a note. Then I said something's wrong. How can it be that Pfizer, the producer of the vaccine, now, 3 years later, confirms that they never tested it before market entry? So I said the whole campaign was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So who knew what, when?
Yes.
Because we got vaccinated. So I went back. August 3rd, 21, one of the press conferences of the Ministry of Health of Switzerland, where he is the boss as
Mm-hmm.
Minister of Health.
Right.
His director, a lady doctor, Virginie Masseret, made a statement referring to the CDC, the American CDC, indicating that the CDC recommended that, hold your breath, vaccinated people transmit the virus as easily as unvaccinated people and are not immune against the virus. I made a note. Then a journalist asked in this televised and radio broadcast, big press conference, he said, can you confirm what is your opinion of, is it true then that vaccinated people transmit as easily as unvaccinated people? And she said, yes. She repeated it in French. You can look it up. She said, vaccinated people transmit the virus as easily as unvaccinated people that are not immune. Okay, made a note. That means, from my perspective, confirmed what I could find as a public statement of the Ministry of Health, for me, was the 3rd of August 2021 was a complete declaration of bankruptcy regarding the efficacy of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
From the horse's mouth, the Ministry of Health.
Right.
Who I trusted, my family trusted. Fine. Next, I went forward towards our time. And 3 months later, we had the public vote, population had to vote, whether or not to accept the Corona law, which divided society, split into vaccinated people, unvaccinated people, restrictions for the unvaccinated, job losses for the unvaccinated, etc., and complete freedom for the vaccinated. Fine.
Right.
27th of October, televised speech by the Minister of Health, now president of this country. 27th of October, 21, he said, with the certificate, meaning the vaccination, with certificate, you can be sure that you are not contagious. Repeat, not contagious.
Right.
Wow. So I make a note. So we go back. Entry of the vaccine, he said, it's safe, effective, tested. August 21, 9 months after market entry, his own director of the Ministry of Health repeats the CDC of America's recommendation and says it herself, vaccinated are transmissible as unvaccinated and not immune. And then he, 3 months later, reverses all that, everything, back to, you're sure that you're not contagious with the certificate, meaning the vaccination. So that's an untruth. And it is not, a slip of word.
No, it's not a slip of the tongue.
Like that.
No, no.
It cannot be an excuse, oh, I didn't know, because in 2.5 years non-stop, his department, that's his job. Mr. COVID, every day, supposedly, he should be briefed about the state of affairs of this so-called massive attack on humanity.
Right.
The virus. Well, it turns out to be now we know more. The more they vaccinated, the more the infection rate went up.
Yep.
If a vaccine is effective, the more you vaccinate, then the curve should go down or stagnate, go down. Well, the opposite was the case. So that we have now evidence. Fine, meaning not good, but,
make a note.
Supports my argument. So I filed criminal charges on the 2nd of December for abuse of office.
Mm-hmm.
And I added, since then we spoke, 3 more criminal charges. All of them proven. The causality is tied together. The timelines are correct. It's a 9-page document. And the case is now, when I spoke to you, it was at the police station.
Right.
Now it's at the highest office, at the Attorney General's office.
Wow.
It passed state prosecution, got checked. Then it succeeded
To go to
go
national
straight up to the so-called federal, the prosecutor of the Confederation. Okay. That's where it is. It has a case number since a long time. That's not the question anymore. The investigation is ongoing.
Right.
And that's why I will not speak more about the details of the added articles. I don't need to do that. And I don't want to disturb justice. They're doing their job now. She's independent from politics. And again, what I told you is evidently clear. Any 5-year-old can understand that. But I have, again, added 3 severe breaches of criminal codes to that. And that makes it 4.
Wow. That's fascinating. I mean, and it's fantastic that you've done that. I think
interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Since today, mainstream media has not reported it. Now think of this.
I know.
This is the first and only running at the Attorney General's office of a country criminal pursuit against the sitting head of state for the vaccination policy. And no mainstream media is reporting it.
No, of course not. We know why that, and we know why that is, Pascal. We know why that is. Now, let me ask you a question, because I saw a headline the other day, and this goes back to our first conversation when we first met back in, I think, November. I think it was when we first chatted about Swiss neutrality, when you were first and your outrage over the Swiss giving up their neutrality. I saw a headline the other day that process has metastasized as well, if I understand correctly. So go ahead and give us an update on what's going on with that as well, because it's very clear that the Swiss have under this guy Berset, I'm saying that right, correct, is clearly moving Switzerland out of a neutral position, aligned with Europe, aligned with looks like the WEF, the World Economic Forum policy to create a 2-tiered society.
No, now we're mixing up. Okay.
So
the neutrality has been eroded by actions and words and etc. by, our previous head of state, Ignacio Cassis, last year.
Right.
Foreign minister. He still is foreign minister.
Okay.
And we still have this pro-Ukrainian stance.
Right.
We're not neutral anymore. Forget it.
Right.
Gone. They also now are talking to confiscate Russian oligarchs' money that are not in the Kremlin or employed by Gazprom or employed by the foreign minister. No, these are just rich people.
Right.
They are deliberating whether or not to confiscate those assets. Can you imagine?
The Swiss.
Yeah. If they do that, the condition precedent set. Then if they can do that to Mr. Evgeny Ivanov,
right,
they can do it to me tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the property law broker.
It's very, yeah, I know. It's astounding to me to see that the Swiss would do this. I expect this kind of behavior out of the Germans, out of the British.
No, they're not doing it, but they're talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but this is something which is, because, since we spoke, I became an expert go back to vaccinations. I mean, this stuff. I had on my channels, my YouTube channels, the hot interviews have been censored by WHO. So make a note of that.
Sure.
So WHO is censoring my interviews with professors and doctors talking about freedom of speech, talking about our opinion, whether or not this stuff is functioning, whereby Pfizer has admitted already in European Parliament in public that the stuff doesn't work, where the regulators now admit that they never tested it, where they now have to admit that they breached the authorization rules for certification, where finger pointing starts to happen now. Who is liable? Is it the head of state? Is it the head of Ministry of Health? Is it the head of the regulator, or the state doctor, or the doctors who jabbed? And guess what? What the result is? You made some legal research here. The president is not liable. The Minister of Health is not liable.
Of course not.
The regulator all breached all the rules and gave orders to the doctors to jab, to violate their oath. And the oath is, even under threat of force, I will never administer an unlicensed or a medicine that I'm not convinced of. And breaking the law, that's criminal law again, jabbing people without written consent, signed, on file for 10 years, each one, to be informed about heart attack, brain stroke, thrombosis, lung cancer, all these nice things, which are supposedly, well, which are officially side effects now, and they knew that before, should have been given to every patient, so to speak, and say, look, do you want this? There's about 20 things which can kill you. And if you still want it, you have to sign it. And it goes 10 years on file, and now we will jab you. Are you okay with this? 70% of 9 million people have not been doing this or asked to do this.
No.
So that is what? That is what do you call it? Body injury. What do you call that? How do you call that? Somebody really harms you.
It's grievous bodily harm. It doesn't. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, it's well. I mean, and of course, governments claim sovereign immunity to all these things. They can issue edicts without bearing any of the responsibility for the actions of their edicts, and it's monstrous. It's tyrannical. And
grievous bodily harm would be probably the American term would be aggravated assault. Anyway, so that's where we are. When I filed, I smelled all that, but now this is all confirmed. It's
even worse when you think about the Project Veritas video where they admitted that like they did helped create the new strains of the virus in order to have a vaccine cell. Like, I mean, the whole thing is just, off the charts. And it's insane that we even have to like go through the charade that these people haven't been acting in our best interest. They haven't been. They've been acting with a particular agenda. That agenda is not about vaccination. It's about creating a two-tiered society. And it's about control.
It's about keeping people too.
Well, I mean, and we can go into depopulation and other aspects as well, but let's just focus on the basic stuff. The first order effects of this, which is that they want to be able to tell us at any moment and have the legal precedent to tell us, or legal precedent, I'm using air quotes here, that they can do this with the next thing that comes down the pike that they may or may not have created for our benefit.
The mRNA technology has been developed and ordered by the DoD. Elon Musk made that happen with the files that came out.
Right. Yep.
That's confirmed.
None of this is speculation anymore. It's all out there.
Confirmed.
Yeah, this is all now public knowledge, and it's just a matter of the question of whether or not people want to believe the information that's out there, and that's up to them. All we can do is present the information.
Pfizer asked the judge a few days ago, take this case off us for mass murder. We delivered the fraud that the government was asking us to do. You can Google that. It's
right. It's insane. Yeah. No, sorry, Pfizer. You can say no, and That's
No,
that.
everybody could have said no. The regulators of this country could say, "Wait a minute, this stuff can't go into
The people should have said no. 30% of the people said no.
all
I said
levels."
no.
Good for you. Second, today we analyzed the substance. It's lipids. The packaging of the mRNA, the memory RNA, is lipids. Highly toxic, goes into your cells and damages everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
No, it's
And
terrible.
then it creates out of control production. No
Yes.
doses
Yep.
determined. Spike proteins in your body. 500 million, 2 trillion, swirling around from feet, toe to brain and backwards. Weakening the immune system,
Yes.
etc., etc. The princess of Thailand is in serious trouble since 8 weeks in a coma after her, I believe now, fourth shot, and it was a heart attack, and there was not enough oxygen into her brain.
Yep.
Consequently, she's on a heart-lung machine, and the parents, the king, His Royal Highness, His Majesty, has to, at some stage, decide the unthinkable, the brutal decision. Terrible.
It's
And
Pascal.
we have people dying, and so the mRNA stuff never was a vaccine because we know now it never was tested. A vaccine is supposed to protect you.
No,
and
right.
others.
It's not supposed to weaken you to a virus that itself, as it iterates, weakens.
So
Right. Basic virology is that with each iteration of and each mutation of the virus, transmissibility tends to go up, and infectious and virility or virality, the severity of goes down. Right. So transmission goes up, but its virulence goes down. And how do you account for that? Well, you create a product that weakens everybody's immune system to keep them susceptible to an ever weakening virus. And then you keep boosting them to keep destroying their immune system.
The virus has never been isolated. That's the other question mark. The psyop came from China. The panic was rolling east so fast, not even a 747 can travel that fast in a virus. You know, understand what I mean?
Right.
This whole thing, all I'm saying is linked to what? Which global organization, supranational, advised 194 governments to vaccinate 70% with that stuff? WHO.
Yep. And the WHO is a wholly owned subsidiary, as far as I'm concerned. Me personally, my opinion, of the World Economic Forum, and the organizations that it is a front for.
Yeah, well, you can look it up. I mean, Bill Gates controls through various mechanisms 20% of that NGO. It's a privately financed NGO through big pharma, etc. You can look it up. It takes time to look up, but you can. Sure. And it has nothing to do with health anymore because they just proven the point. They injected Bloomberg source October 22. Maybe now it's even more. But by October 22 last year, a few months ago, it was 12.7 billion shots.
Yeah.
Now, knowingly injecting people, knowingly with intent, knowing that it can kill and harm and give severe health problems for the people, that's against the charter point number 1 of the WHO charter.
The statistics as of right now, even regardless of which statistical database of documented harm has been done, the reality is that you can use whatever data you want. The complications from the vaccines are far higher than the complication rate from COVID itself.
That's right.
And that fundamentally that's the thing that should just blow everybody everybody's willing suspension of disbelief out of the water. Like there comes a point where you have to believe one way or the other that like it's either a I don't know how you can deny that. Like why would you do a cost benefit analysis on yourself or a risk to reward benefit analysis on yourself as to whether to take the shot, and when you've got numbers like that. And I
Here, confidential report dated 28th of February 21. Pfizer. Confidential. Page 7. Page 7. It's their own reports of fatalities and reports of side effects.
Right.
Statistics. They recorded those. Those are real lives. 42,086 reported side effects went in. Within 3 months of those reportings, hold your breath, 1,223 died. Impossible to authorize and certify such a substance. Impossible in no country.
Unless your goal is to kill people.
Exactly. So, fact, that's a Pfizer report. It's not a blog. It's not some, this is from
Pfizer's own internal documents.
WHO is a problem, and they want to make a new contract now. It's called the WHO IHR contract, binding this time, whereby the governments basically give up human rights, human dignity. They allow WHO to declare emergencies, to declare vaccination type, vaccination enforcement, 70% enforced vaccination. That's new. And enforcement, using enforcement agencies of the country to enforce their forced vaccination or separation or closure. That means your policeman or army will shoot potentially at your people at the orders of WHO.
Yep.
So in other words,
it's absolutely a schematic to usurp national governments, to usurp local governments, to usurp all the entire power structure. Again, coming from the same people who helped create the European Union, and every other transnational, institution that's out there. And it doesn't matter. We're talking about the IPCC on climate change. They want to use all of these supranational organizations to usurp national governments and allow them to set policy and to transfer control to them. And frankly, I look at people like Joe Biden, and I see people like the European Commission, and I see the Swiss president, and others are walking us into that world as quickly as they can. And they're not just walking us into it, they're now running towards it as quickly as possible. And I think the main reason why they're pushing this hard at this moment in time is because, one, we can see them. Two, the information is now out there. And three, they need to try and get as much done as possible before the revolt is overwhelming against them. And this to hope they get as much of this like embedded, because they're still very powerful within the permanent bureaucracies of the countries, and they're beginning to lose controls of the heads of state because of people like yourself and people here in the United States, men like Ron DeSantis, who governor here in Florida, which is why I'm not jabbed, because he never went along with any of this, and others who have also done. And so we can see it all around the world, and that upswing. This is a classic example of they believe that they can do a takeover of the world from the top down. Meanwhile, from the bottom up, everybody's looking at them going, "Yeah, that's nice." And I just firmly believe that they're all going to wind up with their heads in guillotines.
They will go to jail, all of them, and I cannot imagine. They try to. You're right. They're trying to accelerate massively.
Yes.
But But every country has different mechanisms.
Yes.
And in every government, there is good people in justice. Look at my case.
Right.
There's good people in government still left.
Yes.
There's good opposition.
Yes.
There is still good elements here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Many are brainwashed, but not all.
No, I see the same, and I'm beginning to see the same thing.
The media are complicit in this.
Oh, absolutely, there.
They go to jail as well for promoting genocide.
Mm-hmm. So there's a reason why it hasn't broken yet, right? Why the whole control system hasn't broken? Why the media won't recant? Why certain government actors won't recant? It's because they know that the minute they do, they're going to wind up having to be liable. And until it gets to the point where somebody's knocking on their door saying, okay, no, come on, sir, it's time for you to go to jail and it's time for you to turn over and we're going to roll you because everything is turned against you. They're going to continue to deny up until the moment when it all falls apart against them. I've used this, and you have to realize that the people you're dealing with are psychopaths and narcissists. And it reminds me of I want to keep bringing this point up is Tucker Carlson about a month ago was on Tulsi Gabbard's podcast, and he was talking to her about this piece of film, the last moments of Nicolae Ceausescu and his wife. And he's like, and this stuck with me for my entire life. These people had already been convicted. They were on their way to the firing squad to be shot for crimes against humanity. And they were still issuing orders up until the moments the bullets entered their bodies.
Yeah.
Like, this is the mindset. And we have to realize that they will never apologize. They will never recant.
No.
You're never going to get a wink and a nod from Bill Gates or Hillary Clinton or any of these horrible people. They will continue to do what they've been doing, and they will continue to assert that they are correct, no matter what the crime. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the mRNA vaccines or their manipulation of Russia and Ukraine into a war or Syria or any of their crimes. They will never admit to them. They will never give you the satisfaction of an apology, because they don't want and they may recant at their last. Some of them may recant at their last possible moment, and of course, we should be willing to be at least generous up until that moment, and allow them the opportunity for absolution, but don't expect it.
I spoke to a lawyer, a friend of yours. I mean, friend, I don't know if you know him, but Todd Canel. He told me that there have been 22,000 criminal charge filings in the US, all of them rejected.
Yeah.
Now, 5 billion people have been injected.
I know.
It's the biggest, I call it now diplomatically, mass technical medical failure of human mankind's history.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the mass media are not there.
Mm-hmm.
And another journalist from Britain, she told me, oh, well, why isn't anybody in the streets? You're a conspiracy theorist. I have no time for this. It's conspiracy truth. Pfizer admitted it. Hello.
I know.
So the vaccinated people have a problem because they realize that they harmed themselves, like me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the guts to tell everybody, hey, I trusted this man. I got duped, deceived. And then I now stand up. I use the law. But most people are scared to death to admit, and they vaccinated their children, and they hide behind one word. I define that. The word is unthinkable. They hide behind it, right behind this one word.
Yes.
Like this. Don't talk to me about it. But
because the conspiracy of it is unthinkable that it could possibly be this bad.
They got to learn to think the thought. And if you think the thought, you come to the truth. Always.
Always.
That's what I tell people. The year 2023 is the year of absolute truth for humanity. It's the last battle.
Yes. It has to be. We have to.
5 billion people, I mean, it compares to no war that we ever had on this planet.
I know. And they're documented Malthusians. They documented stating that we need to get rid of all these excess people and all these useless
Harari,
leaders.
Klaus Schwab.
Harari, and it goes even deeper than that. It goes back to Julian Huxley and the Club
Yeah.
of Rome and all of this. It's a mindset.
Bill
And I'll
Gates'
be honest with you,
father.
Pascal, it's very, very clear to me that it's because they understand that they cannot control a system of that the systems of control that they want to put in place for themselves cannot be managed with 7 billion people. It's just that simple. That's where we are. And the rest of it is just marketing, frankly. And it's pathetic and it's sick and it's insane, but it is what it is.
I had a chat with Anne van der Steel in Florida.
Yes.
You know her?
No, I don't know her, but you sent me the interview.
She's pretty cool.
Right.
Have a look at the video, please. And we concluded both at it was my night, like 2 in the morning here. We had this interview with Florida and with your state. Right. And we concluded one thing: such inhuman massacre thought can impossibly come from a human brain. Think about that. Because it's a huge logistical organization to carry through. And you know what? Lockstep.
Yes.
Lockstep
it was
in
built,
German.
It was built over multiple generations.
Lockstep is a German Nazi terminology, Gleichschritt.
Which means?
Lockstep.
Okay, lockstep. Right.
I tell you, I can fathom this. I went to places where angels don't go in this world and crisis of governments. But again, most people are just stunned. They just shell-shocked.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that the best thing to do is to continue to do this the way you've been going about it, which is, look, I'm going to file criminal charges. Yeah. We're going to give it the same imprimatur of officialdom that they gave it. And then, slowly but surely we'll bring another tranche of people across with each brick in the wall that we tear down. And that's the way we have to kind of look at it.
And we have to defend what we were given.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really mean the Constitution.
I mean our communities.
Yeah.
The Constitution is just a proxy for the kind of community that we want to live in, whether it's the Swiss Constitution or the American Constitution or whatever. It's just a proxy for that. We have to come together as people and as a community, and we have to welcome those who have been on the other side of the argument previous to
We have to unite now. No more division.
Yeah, no, this has to be, those are the bad guys. They did this to us. You can be angry about it, or we can actually channel that anger into something constructive to rebuild the world that they have now fundamentally broken. And
we will win. I tell you that already today. We will.
Of course we will.
Of course,
there's no doubt in my mind about it.
It's the final battle, and good will win over the bad.
Mm-hmm. It will. It has to. Otherwise, what's the point? Then they win, and we're all going to be taken out behind the chemical shed and shot in the head. And if that's the case, well, I'll be denying that we're going to lose. I'll have my Ceausescu moment, and I'll sit there and say, you're not going to win until that moment when you actually put the bullet in. Okay, fine. Like, that's it. But I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of saying you were right and that 2 + 2 = 5. Sorry, O'Brien, it doesn't work that way.
Another attorney, I had a second interview last night. He said, you know what? 300 million armed Americans. Yeah. I mean, if the Constitution is violated, you go put your uniform on, you take your gun, and you defend the Constitution.
All we have to do is just keep saying no. And at some point, there's a lot of you, but there's a whole lot more of us. And without you and without us, you guys don't eat. It's not that hard. We don't even have to pick up our guns. The guns are a latent threat. They're the last thing we have to think about. It's just simply a matter of you stand there and you continue to act like an adult and say, I need you to shut up now. The grown-ups are talking and you have lost. Stop it. That's enough. And unfortunately, it's going to be terrible. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to stand up and do that, and they're going to be cut down. But the overwhelmingly, I think that we don't have to go that route. Is it going to be violent? Of course, it's going to be violent. But no one's advocating it. There's plenty of ways to get out of it.
No violence.
Unfortunately, it is what it is, and we will figure it out at each step of the way. So, Pascal, thank you for this. I know you didn't want to go long today on this, so
I thought we keep it short. But please, guys, go to my Rumble account now, because WHO is prohibiting freedom of speech in this country, Switzerland.
Yep.
And blocked my uploads, and I cannot talk about vaccinations and stuff. But Rumble, I have all the experts there. I spoke to Professor Recep Levy, MIT professor, Israeli, great guy. We had a fantastic talk. He stated it kills, it has to be stopped, and we don't like WHO. He said it all in one go, in half an hour.
Yep.
So have a look at the interviews. There's professors, Professor Bhakti, Professor Hockertz from Germany, experts talking to me, revealing the truth.
Yep.
And, as you said, we continue to inform people. I thank you for your time, Tom. Always great talking to you.
Absolutely, sir. As always with me. And please do me a favor. Once we're done with this, send me all the links that you want, like for me to have in the show notes to the podcast, and I'll make sure that they're there. So
I'll send you the Rumble link and the Telegram link, so everybody gets from my mobile phone. If there's a news about the case, it goes on there, and they have it straight on the mobile phone.
Yep. I'd also like to, if you've got a link to the Pfizer documents and anything else you want to give me, I will put in the show notes to the podcast.
I don't have links to that. I can send you the WHO IHR agreement, and you can put it up.
That'll work. Thank you, sir.
And people, just look at Article 3, cancellation of human rights. If you like that, it's up to you.
Fair enough. Pascal Najadi, as always, it's been a pleasure and an honor, sir. You have a wonderful rest of your day, because you're 6 hours ahead of me. I'm going to get started.
Interviews.
What's that?
More interviews coming.
Yeah, good. And we'll talk again soon. All right.
Sure, Tom. All the best. Send me the file, please, as ever.
Yep, I will.
Take care. God bless you.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Well, that'll about wrap it up for episode 132 of the Gold, Goats, and Guns podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening in. As always, you can follow my work over at tomluongo.me. You can follow me on Twitter at TFL1728 and over at Patreon/Gold, Goats, and Guns, where we publish the monthly Gold, Goats, and Guns newsletter and the twice weekly market reports and private blogs. So, that being said, there will be links to all the stuff that Pascal talked about in this episode, and we'll be back soon with another one. You guys be well. Take care. We'll talk soon. Keep your stick on.